Will the guests please? Will the guests please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing until the completion of the invocation. All military personnel remain covered for the parading of the colors and the singing of our national anthem. Senior Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, arriving. Commander, Navy Region Northwest, arriving. Ladies and gentlemen, MU2 Brenton Mitchell will perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, MU2. Pastor John Kurlinski will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious Father in heaven, you are truly the great gifter. You gave your only begotten Son, who made us, who came to save and even serve us. We thank you for the gift of service which we honor, following in his steps. We thank you for our brother hero, Lamy. We ask now that you will gift and grace this time together today with your Holy Spirit's presence. We thank you in Jesus' name.
Thank you, Pastor. Side boys, post.
Aye, aye, Senior Chief. Side boys, left or right, face. Post.
Will the guests please be seated? It is with great pleasure that I introduce Commander, Navy Region Northwest, Steve Barnett.
We're all clapping for you, Steve. I want to say good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
I just want to take a few moments and just welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out. Beautiful day. We're blessed to be here. Thanks for the great prayers. You know, every time I hear the anthem, it makes me happy. It makes my chest swell. This is a great story right here, right? 26 years and what, 8 days? Who's counting? Okay, got it. So, very important day. I'm glad that you're here to share with us this situation, this great situation that's about to happen. This is a tradition. I won't steal any of your thunder right now. I know you're going to talk about it. No, you're going to talk about everything. But this is a great tradition. What's so important is that it's a sad day, but it's also a happy day. These make me sad because we always see great sailors leaving and their families. But he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this right here, right? I think we can say that, right? Okay, so we're going to do a big head nod on that. Okay. But thank you for what you've done. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your sacrifice. Now you're going to get it, okay? You got him all. Okay, so he's coming to you. He's going to have a job, so that's a plus, right? Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. He won't be at home too much more. But he'll be at home a little bit more than if he was with us all the time. So I want to thank you for that. It was a chance meeting that we actually bumped into each other. Was it a Friday? I think I was trying to sneak out of work early. And I pull up and I see this white BMW pull up. Now I've got an older white BMW. Mine is like, what is my brand? Mine is pretty old, right? It's an 06. And I'm looking for a flag agency. So as you always get an eye when you say, hey, that's a nice looking BMW, right? So I see this one pull up. I'm like, wow, that's nice, you know. When I see this sharp sailor hop out, I'm like, oh, this is great, you know. And I knew that some folks were waiting for a senior chief to pull up, and I didn't know who it was. I was trying to sneak out of work, and then he pulls up, and we had a quick conversation, and he invited me to be here. And I said I would love to be here. I thought I wasn't going to be in the area, so it turns out that I am here, so this is good. I have a change of command in a couple of weeks, so this is a great opportunity for me to get a chance to be part of this ceremony. What I will tell you is that people say it's a small world, but it's even a smaller Navy. As I got to know him and talk to him, we had some, not only did I serve on the Stennis, but I served on it before you did, back when it was in San Diego. But we have a few mutual friends. One is my mentor, and was his CO. That was your first CO, right? On the USS Essex. Vice Admiral retired now, Andy Wins. And he was my mentor, and he still is to this day, and we're the same. So, you know, God works in mysterious ways and wonderful ways, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Admiral Wins, and you, like you told me, you wouldn't be here also if it wasn't for Admiral Wins. So we took a photo. I can't wait to send it to him and his wife Dee, to let him know that his Navy life is coming full circle, just like mine is, and just like we're all in the planet or in the solar system of Admiral Wins, and many others. There's a lot of folks that are not sitting here that would love to be part of the ceremony, that are responsible for him to be here. So that said, I just want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity. It's a great day. It's a great Friday. It's a great Navy day. Thank you.
Admiral Barnett, shipmates, co-workers, family, and friends, good morning. Welcome to the retirement ceremony of Senior Chief Petty Officer John Hero Lamy. In recognition of a long and honorable career in service to our nation and in keeping with one of the oldest traditions in the military service, we are gathered here to pay special tribute to Senior Chief Lamy and his family on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Navy. I would like to take a moment and personally welcome Senior Chief Lamy's family, his wife Joanna, his daughters Beja, Cora, and Anaya, and to his extensive family that made their way to the beautiful PNW. Welcome. It is our distinct pleasure to have you here today. This retirement ceremony is intended to convey, in part, a grateful nation's sincerest expression of appreciation for a job well done, and to officially recognize Senior Chief Lamy's 26 years of faithful and honorable service. Today is a day of great significance, as we recall a richly rewarding way of life where he experienced a broad variety of challenging assignments while serving our country in defense of freedom. Family, friends, co-workers, and shipmates, past and present, are in attendance today. Highlights of his career will be reviewed, awards and commendations cited, and the senior officer present will properly bid him farewell. The ceremony you are about to witness is centuries old and rich in tradition. It is the Navy's way of showing our nation's gratitude to our sailors who have served their country with honor and distinction. Today, we are gathered to witness the final stage in a very full and productive military career. We also gather together to say thanks to a shipmate. Thank you for your many contributions, which have made our Navy a stronger and more capable force. Thank you for the many dedicated hours and personal sacrifices that have helped to make the Navy the proud and professional organization that it is today. Just as this is the end of one chapter in his life, it is also the start of another. So our gathering here today also gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he, Joanna, Beja, Cora, and Anaya move forward to new challenges and new rewards. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the guest speaker for today's ceremony, Command Master Chief Retired Ted Calcaterra.
Give me a minute here. This has happened more than once. All right. Good to go? Hey, good morning. And before I get started here, if you take a look at that program, and I retired a little over a year ago, and if you take a look at that program, look at that front picture. And to me, it looks like yesterday they took that picture. You know, when I retired, there was another person on the front of that thing. What are you shaking your head at? Anyway, it could be because of the hair, it could be because of a couple of things there, but at any rate, it looks like, yeah, he hasn't changed much, right? Slender build, you know, confident look on his face. It's always there, always. So anyway, it's my pleasure to be here today in celebration of Senior Chief Hero Lamy's 26 years of naval service. I'd like to acknowledge the commanding officer, Navy Region Northwest, Rear Admiral Burnett, and the Command Master Chief, Dunn, is out there somewhere. Yeah. And of course, the Master of Ceremonies, Senior Chief Dolores Leverett, who did my retirement as well. And again, I want to thank you for that, even though that was over a year ago. But here you are again, making it happen. So thank you for that, Dolores. And she's been in charge of many retirements, both on this side of the water and over at Whidbey Island. So she's a professional at it, and thank you. It's great to see you again, too. And of course, the family. And I think we touched on the family, but I'm convinced that when you are married to a sailor, you are married to the Navy. And you have just as many sacrifices involved in your career with your husband as he does with the Navy. And so anyway, I want to welcome you here today to help celebrate. And you can do a sigh of relief as well, so he doesn't have to go on deployment anymore and all that. And so step up your game there, Senior Chief, because it's going to get tough. All right? So anyway, I welcome the family. I first met Hero in 2016 at the Bangor Plaza, and it was when we first started putting on the Type 3 green uniforms. And he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And he was setting up the Navy Personnel Command Symposium. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a big event, and it usually spans about 3 to 4 days. And every command goes over to this huge ballroom, and Navy personnel actual talks to the sailors. And what they do is they talk about future career-enhancing programs so that they can make intelligent choices with regards to their careers. I was a CMC of Submarine Group 9, the other operational units. Bangor and Hero and I were both interested as to how the layout was going to be set up. And Master Chief Kuchella at the time was the CMC of Navy Region Northwest, and he said, "Oh yeah, just go over there and talk to Hero." And I said, "Okay." And so I asked him a few detailed questions regarding who was speaking, where they were speaking at, and what time. And all of those answers rolled off his tongue rather quickly. And so it was very evident to me he was a man in charge, and he knew exactly what was going on. And I knew now that that's why 5 wasn't over there, because you had it, right? So I was fortunate enough to receive orders to Navy Region Northwest. I was very happy to see Hero still there at the region, still accomplishing his outstanding duties. Hero believes in high standards. In 2008, Hero made the transition from personnelman to Navy career counselor. And in that same year, he made the transition from first class petty officer to chief petty officer. No doubt this was a challenging time frame for him and his family, but as you'll hear today, the challenge is not new to Hero. His entire career reads like a highlight, and I just wanted to point out a few significant points. While on the Essex, he was command advanced to personnelman 3rd class, displaying outstanding performance at an early stage in his career. As I said earlier, we selected to the rank of Chief Petty Officer before transitioning to Navy Career Counselor. So he was a professional subject matter expert as a personnelman before he went to the NCC world. The important thing to remember here is not all sailors serving 20 years are selected to the rank of Chief Petty Officer. This is a very significant benchmark in any sailor's career. I remember it like it was 20 years ago. Yeah. He was an honor graduate of the Navy Senior Enlisted Academy. And for those that may not know about this school, you have, throughout the Navy, senior chief petty officers go into the Senior Enlisted Academy who are hungry to do well. So for Hero to go over there and not only graduate, but he graduated with distinction amongst others that did really well as well. Very senior. And he rose to the occasion of excellence. He directly influenced the accomplishment of 4 consecutive command senior retention, sailor retention awards for Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, and Dolores had a little bit to do with that too. Naval Station Everett, and also Naval Base Kitsap. Hero would also coordinate career development symposiums, as I said earlier, hosting the commanding officer of Navy Personnel Command, who is responsible for manning the Navy and providing career-enhancing programs for all 340,000 sailors that we have in the Navy today. This gives the sailors vital career information directly from those who created the programs, therefore educating sailors and giving them the ability to make informed choices to affect their own careers. And when I was a young sailor, we didn't have choices, or whatever choices we had were very little. So what that does is it gives ownership right to the sailor, and they make the choices that they want to do to be able to move forward. Very significant. And by the way, that's why the Navy's that we've enjoyed retention. Our retention numbers and goals have been met for what, the last 6 years, 7 years, and while other forces sort of struggle. And I think that's one of the significant reasons why. And again, Hero was just not striving for perfection, he achieved it. Navy Career Counselors are the Navy career subject matter experts, as I said, designed to provide career recommendations to the sailors and their chain of command. Navy Region Northwest has the 3rd largest concentration of sailors within the Navy. Hero was personally responsible, not just to me, but personally responsible to Rear Admiral Gary Mays and Scotty Gray as to the performance and status of all Navy Region Northwest career development programs. And without fail, he again achieved excellence from his sailor retention programs and awards. One of the many keys to Hero's success was the relationship developed with the sailors. He owns all the sailors, but owns none as a career counselor. But he would take them on board as if they were part of his division. And I witnessed this over and over at each one of the career development boards. A board normally consisting of the command master chief, sailors, leading petty officer or chief petty officer, And in some cases, the division officer, along with Hero, the Navy Career Counselor. When you have a board like that, it is imperative that you develop a calming situation for the sailor, because these are very junior sailors, and then they're walking in with a command master chief and maybe a lieutenant, and so they were nervous. And one of, whether you knew it or not, Hero, you know, he was professional. He talked to the sailor prior to the board, announced expectations, and once the board started, he would talk to the sailor until laughter came out of the sailor. And whatever that topic was, he usually fished it out of him somehow. I just sit at my desk and let him do his thing. And so once the sailor started laughing at whatever joke or comment or whatever, it just sort of broke the ice. And then we started getting into the career review board, and there was good dialogue between the sailor and the chain of command, which is exactly what you want. Yeah, and after the ice was broken, the sailor became very comfortable. And that's exactly what you want, like I said. And again, that's Hero achieving excellence. Normally, sailors don't go home and boast about how great they did that day or what they did for the Navy to positively impact everyone. Hero was very humble. I can't speak for him at home, but he was very humble at work. Okay. So yeah, maybe your daughters have a few stories there, buddy, but I'm talking about work, sort of. I'm sure that, and I already wrote it in here, and I'm sure this may be a surprise to the family members. Maybe. So I wrote that, and I sat there, and when was he not humble? So I did come up with one. I do have one story about that. And so the USO would frequently hold meetings at the airport down at SeaTac. And at one point, my schedule was going to become very busy. And there was going to be a time where I would not be able to make it. So I brought Senior Chief with me to go to one of the meetings so that he would be introduced to all the folks there, and he could go in my stead. And we're driving from here down to SeaTac. Vehicle pulls out in front of me. I have to slam on my brakes and polish off a few choice words at that moment. And at some point I made the comment that, you know, if I would have hit that driver, it probably would have been their fault. And Hero said, he just sat there for a second and said, no, I don't think it would have been their fault because you rear-ended them. And so I'm still in the rage piece of mine. Are you kidding me? You're not on my side right now? So anyway, we bantered that back and forth for a while. And I was surely confident that I was correct. And so then it was silence in the car for about 30 seconds. And then Hero pulls out the ace out of his sleeve. In that Hero voice of his. Did I ever tell you that I had a degree in criminal justice? And then I said, you can't be kidding me. So then I was silent from then on out because I had nothing to fall back on. So, he wanted to win that argument, right? And I'm sure he sat there and he goes, man, should I do this or should I not? I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. So anyway, he won the argument. I shut up. I was humbled. And we carried on. Duties and responsibilities for him, career development boards, meritorious advancements, blended retirement, rating transitions, are just a few portions of the Navy retention programs designed to keep some of the best sailors. And they can operate our shore installations and operate our elements of air, submarine, and surface. Our goal was to keep the best. And those programs were implemented by Hero every single day. And if a new program came out, he was quick to come upstairs. Hey, CMC, did you get this program? And of course I didn't. And so we would sit down and talk about it. And the next thing would be, how are we going to get it out to the sailors? How are they going to be educated on this? So he was continuously up on the new programs, providing sailors detailed career information. These are skills of the Navy Career Counselor, and Hero is a master at his trade. Many times I would conduct checkout interviews. In these interviews, I would ask the sailor questions to be able to get feedback on how well we're doing as a command. And I had to break the ice sometimes in order for them to open up and have frank conversations. Much the way Hero did with the sailors at the career development course. But each time a sailor would check out, there was no hesitation when they started talking about Hero, and no prompting from me. Hey, how's my NCC? What did he do? Anything? And but no, they, without prompting, every single time would get up and say something very positive about Hero and the effect that he had on their career while they were at Navy Region Northwest. And some of these sailors were just there temporarily for 6 months or maybe 12 months. But it didn't matter to Hero. He took them under his wing and treated them like almost family. It was crazy, almost family. And I had nothing to worry about with him. Talking to sailors, giving them right recommendations, experiences. He was just fantastic. And the sailors love it. Sailors will remember many things throughout their careers, both good and bad. But those leaders who impact the sailor's career in a positive way, just like Hero, will always be remembered by the sailors. This is the legacy that Hero will leave behind, without a doubt. He's a great friend. We had a great time at Navy Region Northwest. You know, we had Earth Day. You know, and I told everybody, bring your crappy clothes so we can go out and clean up around the building. So he wasn't even involved with it, and I look out there through my little window, and I see him with his khakis on, sweeping out leaves and getting into the gutter, pulling out stuff out of the gutter. And I walked out there and said, "What are you doing, dude?" But anyway, he said, "Hey, I just want to be part of it. I want to be part of the team." Hero's career benchmarks. As first class petty officer, he learned his rate well enough to achieve the selection of chief petty officer. To be selected to the rank of senior chief petty officer, a sailor must perform above and beyond the level of a chief petty officer. What does that mean? They must be the subject matter expert in the rate. They must continue to lead sailors. They must continue to execute at higher level collateral duties. They must continue to execute higher senior watch stations. And it's not just knowing his rate. That was back when he was the first, right? You're a subject matter expert as a first class. Now you got to be a leader. Now you got to affect people. Now you have to influence. And that's exactly what Hero did. Outstanding work ethic, and high standards of excellence helped him significantly to achieve the level he is at today. As a young sailor on my first submarine, a mentor of mine recommended that I attend a retirement ceremony of the. I hope you all learned something here today about Hero, and there will be more. He always achieves excellence of the job, not just for himself, but always for the betterment of the sailor and the command that he's attached to. Today marks the end of Hero's naval career. However, the character, the work ethic, the leadership, and positive influence will continue to his next adventures. I want to thank you, Hero, personally, for inviting me here to celebrate this with you on your 26 years in the United States Navy. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. I know we're going to stay in contact, right, because we're going to be tied at the hip. because you're going to give me parts. And so I want to thank you again for asking me to be your guest speaker, and congratulations on a successful 26-year career to both you and your family. Congratulations, family. Booyah.
Thank you, Ted. RPC retired Andre Floyd will now read the CPO Creed.
During the course of initiation, you have been caused to humbly accept challenge and face adversity. This you have accomplished with rare good grace. Pointless as some of these challenges may have seemed, there were valid, time-honored reasons behind each pointed bar. Your faith in the fellowship of the Chief Petty Officers was necessary to overcome these hurdles. The goal was to instill in you that trust is inherent with the donning of the uniform of a chief. Our intent was to impress upon you that challenge is good, a great and necessary reality which cannot mar you, which in fact strengthens you. In your future as a Chief Petty Officer, you will be forced to endure adversity far beyond what has thus far been imposed upon you. You must face each challenge and adversity with the same dignity and good grace you have already demonstrated. By the experience, by performance, and by testing, you have been advanced to Chief Petty Officer. In the United States Navy, and only in the United States Navy, the rank of E7 carries with it unique responsibilities and privileges you are expected to fulfill and bound to observe. Your entire way of life is changed. More will be expected of you, more will be demanded of you, not because you are an E7, but because you are now a Chief Petty Officer. You have not merely been promoted a pay grade, you have joined an exclusive fellowship, and as in all fellowships, you have a special responsibility to your comrades, even as they have a special responsibility to you. This is why we in the United States Navy may maintain with pride our feelings of accomplishments once we have attained the position of Chief Petty Officer. Your responsibilities and privileges do not appear in print. They have no official standing. They cannot be referred to by any name, number, nor file. They have existed for over 100 years because chiefs before you have freely accepted responsibility beyond the call of the printed assignment. Their actions and their performance demanded the respect of their seniors as well as their juniors. It is required that you be the fountain of wisdom, the ambassador of goodwill, the authority in personal relations, as well as in technical applications. As the chief is a household phrase in and out of the Navy. You are the chief, the exalted position you have achieved, and the word exalted is used advisedly. Exists because of service, character, and performance of the chiefs before you. It shall exist only as long as you and your fellow chiefs maintain these standards. It was our intention that you never forget this day. It was our intention to test you, to try you, and to accept you. Your performance has assured us that you will wear the hat with the same pride as your comrades in arms before you. We take a deep and sincere pleasure in clasping your hand and accepting you as a Chief Petty Officer in the United States Navy.
Thank you, Andre. Paramount Master Chief Jason Dunn will now present the MCON letter.
Hey, here, congratulations on your special day. Thank you for the honor of being able to read this letter here. We never served together, but it's clear based on everything that your reputation precedes you, so congratulations to you and your family both. Department of the Navy, the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Dear Senior Chief Lamy, you have tirelessly served our Navy over the past many years and selfless dedication to a life of service that few in our nation have been willing to shoulder. It is my sincere honor and privilege to congratulate you on this truly memorable day as we stop all engines and lay about smartly to recognize you and your family upon your retirement from the United States Navy. In our service, there is a saying, officers run the Navy, however, Chief Petty Officers make it run. Senior Chief, you have made the Navy run. Throughout your career, you understand the importance of nurturing the talents, strengths, and leadership abilities of each of our sailors, thus ensuring our Navy maintained its edge as the greatest Navy in the world. As a Chief Petty Officer, neither your life nor career were easy. Others' needs always superseded your own, and you always sought to further team goals, never looking for accolades. Often overlooked but never undervalued, the greatest strength of the Chief is to be a quiet yet powerful presence that, simply put, makes it happen. This you accomplished with rare and good grace. As we render honors today, posting the side boys and piping you ashore one final time, bidding farewell to a shipmate, please accept my personal gratitude for all of your sacrifices. Your strength and service and personal commitment to the entire Navy family truly made a significant impact. I wish you and your family all the best. Sincerely, Russ Smith, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy.
I would like to invite Admiral Barnett to present Senior Chief Lamy's Fleet Reserve Certificate and End of Tour Award. Senior Chief Petty Officer Lamy, front and center. Attention to award. Department of the Navy. This is to certify that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Combination Medal, Gold Star, in lieu of 4th award to Senior Chief Navy Counselor, Surface Warfare, John Hero Lamy, United States Navy, for meritorious achievement while serving as Administrative Department Leading Chief Petty Officer and Lead Command Career Counselor on board USS Carl Vinson, CVN 70, from October 2018 to January 2021. He oversaw work completion of 25 spaces during the 2019 docking incremental planned availability, resulting in all departmental spaces being ready ahead of schedule. He ensured 100% career development board completion, 100% Seaway application submission, and $5.2 million in reenlistment bonuses, resulting in Carl Vinson being awarded the 2018 and 2019 Golden Anchor Award. His dedication to mission highlights the accumulation of 26 years of honorable and dedicated service. Senior Chief Lamy's distinctive accomplishments, unrelenting perseverance, and dedication to duty reflected great credit upon him and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Given this 7th day of March 2021, signed for the Secretary of the Navy, P.S. Miller, Captain, U.S. Navy, Commanding Officer.
Look, I'm always taking care about a Master Chief and a Senior Chief.
Admiral Barnett will now present the Fleet Reserve Certificate. Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy. This is to certify that Senior Chief Navy Counselor, SW, John Hero Lamy, was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy on the 31st day of May 2021, after 26 years of service. This certificate is awarded as a testimonial of faithful and honorable service. Signed, SD Barnett, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Navy Region Northwest. Senior Chief Lamy is also receiving letters of appreciation from George W. Bush, President William Jefferson Clinton, and Governor Inslee.
served through a lot of presidents. There's only a few of them. All right.
At ease, please be seated. Ushers, would you please escort Joanna, Beja, Cora, and Anaya to join Senior Chief Lamy on the stage. Recognizing that Senior Chief Lamy could not have done all of this or achieved it alone, his many accomplishments that we have recognized during this ceremony cannot be acknowledged without the support of his family throughout his naval career and service to our country. Admiral Barnett will now recognize Senior Chief Lamy's family. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy to all who shall see these presents. Greetings to Joanna Lamy. By authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separations from your husband as he served his country. These months, indeed years, that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and his family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world, a surer peace. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your husband did. He made our Navy stronger and he kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks both you and your husband for enduring these separations. Signed, MC Paradise, Captain, USN, USS Carl Vinson.
Okay, then I'll take one without me.
To Beja, Cora, and Anaya, I apologize. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy. To all who see these presents, greetings. Beja, Cora, Anaya Lamy. By the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separation from your father as he served his country. These months, indeed years, that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and his family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world and a surer peace. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your father did. He made our Navy stronger and he kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks all of you and your father for enduring these separations. Signed, MC Paradise, Commanding Officer, USS Carl Vinson. Thank you, Admiral. Command Master Chief Rob Stockton will now present the Shadow Box.
If I may do a little impromptu real quick. I'm also part of that Stennis alumni. We had an opportunity to meet in 2012 where we were doing our first deployment together. And to have the opportunity to come here and just be a part of this, thank you very much for thinking of me. I'm the Command Master Chief over at Naval Hospital Bremerton, and we were both PNs coming up to the Navy. Then we became PSs, and we actually both went to the NC school. He chose to go NC, and I stayed at PS and went up that route. But I will tell you, it's really good to see somebody, we don't talk about it. You get to see a leader actually be about it. And that's what Senior Chief Lamy is all about. You don't have to ask what to do. You just have to look at him and just follow his lead. And that's what kind of, I was very impressed through our time working together. I would tell you that, I'll give you a short story as an example of this. And that we're on the sentence, and generally speaking, you don't bring folks into the chief's berth. You don't do it. However, he wanted to show his sailors how to make the raft to perfection. So he grabbed a group of our sailors, and they take them down to the goat locker, and he's pulling the sheets tight, and he has the corners crisp, and he's showing off the pillows fluffed, and he's showing off just, this is how you do it. Taking pride, got that smile on his face right there. I'm like, that's beautiful. But I don't think they're going to get the message. Well, why not? Because the 5 racks around it are a complete wreck. So, you know, I appreciate you doing that, but yeah, it's, I will tell you, our time together on board stems, when it came to leadership, it didn't matter what the issue was. Hey, I need a 3MA. We don't speak 3M very well, but we learn, and then we left. I need somebody to get the one Bravo to help me lead this repair locker. We learned, and then we left. We needed somebody to step up and guide our sailors. He was there the whole time. And so, we're losing a strong leader. The sailors are losing a persuasive advocate. And in most organizations, that would be devastating, but in his final duty, he trains his relief. And there's a whole fleet of career counselors out there that are ready to serve to help our sailors out. And so, brother, a small token from the Chief's Mess, and truly by everyone that you've impacted, inside your shadow box is a history of your career. Now I just want to say, from me to you, it's been a pleasure serving with you. You did it right. You left it better than you found it. Thank you very much.
A fine sword, a brass pistol, a rifle or a musket, or maybe a sea chest of fine wood burning in brass, was presented to remind the retiree of crews and ships he had served with. According to some accounts of naval history and tradition, when a sailor retired and was departing the ship for the last time, it was considered bad luck for the sailor's shadow to touch land before he did. Thus, in order to ensure no such misfortune would befall him, the sailor's shipmates constructed a sturdy box, handcrafted of the finest timber and materials in which to display mementos of the sailor's accomplishments. In doing so, they symbolically created a shadow of the sailor until he was safely ashore, at which time the shadow box was presented in a ceremony such as the one you just witnessed today. Hero, on behalf of the crews you have served with, it is our pleasure that you were presented with this shadow box. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present Senior Chief Navy Counselor Hero Lamy, United States Navy.
Wow. What a celebration. Yeah, too loud. Babe, girls, I'll get to you guys in a minute. You have really shaped my career, and I have so much to say about that, so I will get to you guys in a moment. But what a perfect opportunity to say thank you. They say that retirement ceremony probably would be the only time prior to your funeral you get to get everybody in the one room that really care for you, work with, and your colleague to be in one room for you. And unless like a funeral, this I actually get to say things. Admiral Burnett, sir, we just had a good conversation in front of the Region building recently, and we talk about some things, and for who you are and what you represent for this organization.
your presence being here has basically truly been a wish come true, sir. Thank you. That's not my wildest dream would I think. My retirement ceremony with our flag officer. The two of us unfortunately happen to be in uniform on stage, just me and you, and the flag officer. This is going to go on top of the bucket list as far as my career concerned. So thank you for being here. Ted, man, I always say, you don't know that obviously. You are the best CMC that I've ever served with. And the only unfortunate part about that, I only served with you for about a year and a half out of the 26 years. But I served with many great leaders, great CMCs, and your leadership style, it's what gets me motivated to come to work every day. And that's the type of leadership I appreciate. A leader that's a strong leader, but can still lead with a smile on his face, and while showing genuine concern for his sailors and his chief mates, and doing so with just being a nice person, a nice guy. And I saw about that conversation in that car, and it's funny. It's funny. I didn't realize that you were mad, because this is the thing about Ted. You cannot tell he's mad or not, because he's always smiling. He's always looking at you like, wow, he was really mad, and I didn't realize that. So that's the type of person Ted is. But Ted will make you feel comfortable around him. Will make you feel. He always make you feel like, hey, everything's gonna be all right. We will make it happen. And this is the type of leaders the Chiefs need. In this day and age, one of the best strength of leaders. People always feel like, well, you're chief, you have to be strong and all this stuff. But one people don't understand is to stay calm and collected, in adverse situation, and to still be able to have that, self-control and be able to just smile and say things are going to be all right. That's resilience. That's one of the strongest traits of leadership, and you have that. Thank you. Thanks. So many people to thank. Dolores, man, yeah, I know. I get on your nerves the last few months. I haven't got been texting you, calling you now, and yeah, I know. I always see Dolores always trying to calm down, because I'm always all over the place and trying to get everything and trying to touch everything, and you have truly been a great sister to me, and thank you so much for putting up with me the last few months. All the phone calls and all the texts and all the change of plans and all the, I know I stressed you out a lot, and I was so nervous. I was like, she's gonna block me. She said, but thank you for being here, and the rest of the NC family. I see my friend here, my brother, Aaron Castillo. Man, Aaron, thanks for being here. Mel, thank you for being here. When I first got to Region, Mel was an MM1 nuke, and basically holding the seat for me and keep things going. And then to see you being an NC today and have a bright future in the career counselor world, it's good. It's really nice seeing that. Thank you for being here. My friend and my brother, Jake Brady. Hey, Jake is the leading career counselor on board USS Nimitz, and leading career counselor on Carl Benson as a senior chief. And I was fortunate to be filling the billet as senior chief for probably only senior chief filling one of the master chief billets on the carriers. So I relied heavily on Jake to help me out, and I would send him emails, say, hey Jake, how did you do this? So especially when we were in the yard and we jumped up all our Nimitz, convincing sailors to the Nimitz, and they had to re-enlist, they had to get the SRBs, and they stuck on your ship, and I had to say, hey Jake, hey, I'm sending you the contract, can you make it happen for me? And then sometime, last minute, sailors just like, hey, I wanted to re-enlist, I wanted to extend. Oh, really? But the sailors in the Persian Gulf, they want to make that extra money. They have that tax-free money. So we had to make it happen. That's what we do. We make things happen for sailors. And Jake was helping me do that. Thank you for your mentorship and your guidance and helping me complete the successful tour on the carrier as a senior chief, getting a master chief giver. Thank you. When you're looking at the room here, and every single person in this room, I have a personal, spot in my heart for you. So you here because you are here for me and my family, and a special day of my life. I'm about to, in my remarks here, I'll be talking about some of you here in this room specifically that have touched my career. I want to thank all of you, side boys, color guards, the flag detail, my sister Jessica. Thank you for being here. I served with Jessica when she was a second class at Naval San Diego. She was a recruiter in El Cajon. Great leader, on Carl Vincent again, running the show and engineering department. And today, step up to be here for me. Thank you, Jessica. Rob, I will get to you in a minute. Jason, thank you for being here. CMC at Naval Region Northwest, I've never met me, and I show up in a building here while I'm on terminal leave, and you welcome me like you know me all your life. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me, Jason. Andre Floyd, brother, thank you for being here. Drove all the way from Oregon to be here. And we came here last night and stay in town, and you and your beautiful fiance, thank you for being here, guys. I truly appreciate this, man. That means a lot to me. Marco, man, Marco, thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. I'm so proud that I watched you come into the Chiefs mess. I was fortunate to be called your sponsor to the mess, and it's so great to see you complete your retirement and now being here for me and doing great things as a civilian. I appreciate you being here. I see my Navy Region Northwest family. Mr. Davis was my department head. Thank you for being here, Mr. Davis. Commander Hyler, thank you for being here. Be ready with fantasy football. I'm going to get the trophy back this year. Watch out. Jimmy Home, thank you for being here. We spent a lot of watches together. We talk about so many things. Studying that watch, a 24-hour work watch, it's such a learning experience, where you have the whole world basically at your fingertip, sitting at the work watch. You can control so many things that happen in the world, but we still manage to talk about anything from Seahawks football to politics thank you for being a good friend and for always be here for me, Jimmy Hong, and every time I have anything special, you're always there. I appreciate your time. Lieutenant Commander Stephens. Lieutenant Commander Stephens, one of the branch head at the region. And I've never seen somebody always so nice, and friendly, and always, approach you and then talking to you like, it's almost like I'm talking to you like she owes you something. It's like being so polite, so nice to me, and she's a commander. Thank you for being who you are, Lieutenant Commander Stephens, and we had many conversations about anything from children after school activities to career to things. So thank you for always being open ears for me to talk to. I appreciate you being here. To my church family, and Jay and Benji, and I will get to you guys in a minute. To my church family for being here. Starting with Pastor John. Pastor John, thank you for the Bremerton Seventh Adventist Church has been our home church. And thank you for all the guidance and the spiritual guidance and the sermon and the prayers, and for me and my family. And thank you, the rest of the church family, for being here. Brother Otero and Chuck and everybody else, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate your presence here. Bobs, thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. So many thank yous. And I will never finish to say thank you to any of you for what you have done for me throughout my career. The best part and most amazing piece of this incredible journey is that I understand the obstacle that I had to overcome to get here, which makes it even more rewarding. I'm not supposed to be here on this stage, considering what life threw at me since birth. if you picture the country of Haiti, where I'm from, you might have a picture in your mind right now. Basically, one of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Picture 50 times worse than that. That's where I was. That's where my mother was the night I was born. My mom was living in a small little town in the mountain, in a small little village named Naval, which is family with Haiti, so I'm not going to tell you what it was situated or anything like that. But picture that this is a small little town with no running water, no electricity, of course, no health care. So my mom was in labor with me the whole day and throughout the night, and so it was my mom and my older brother Dorsey, which was at that time was 2 years old, and then my mom had a young lady that was helping her, 12 years old young lady helping her on the house. So at that time my dad was already traveling to the States. So that was where my dad had my mom stays close to my dad's parents. So during the birth, my dad's mother was there to help her, and my dad's brother, Toto was there to help my mom. There was a lady, the only expert in childbirth delivery in the whole little village was a midwife lady. She's like the expert in herbal medicine and can deliver babies and stuff like that. And she came and checked on my mom. She was like, "Oh, you're not ready." She left. And she didn't come back to check up on my mom again. Her water broke, and then she was ready to give birth to the baby. And my uncle and my grandma helped her and pushed the baby. And for some reason, right after she pushed the baby, and they left. They took off. And my mom said, she remember them saying that, "Well, you'll figure it out." And there she is, just gave birth after all these hours of labors. Went through the trauma of giving birth, and now there's a baby, the umbilical cord still attached to her, and everybody left. So my mom explained to me that she remember gathering the courage enough to ask the young lady that was helping, say, get me some scissors, unsanitized scissors, and she just reached down. And if you ever been to a delivery room and people give birth, and she had to cut the whole umbilical cord by herself. And fast forward, by the time the midwife, the lady come and check up on her, she was already delivered her baby, walked me out on a blanket and went to bed. And I was in her arm, and my older brother was behind her, and that's the way I was born. And till today, I feel like, and as you know, I realized, found out a few years ago that I had a heart defect. I don't know if that probably was part of that trauma that night. I had a stroke that day, and I had to get my heart to be fixed. So throughout my childhood, and I was always, my immune system was always so weak, and I was always sick. If there's the national pandemic or the seasonal flu, I will be sick. I will have the fever, the malaria, the typhoid, whatever come around. And I remember as a young boy, and I was always, maybe 3 months out of the year, I would be in bed, and being sick. And then, the only reason I'm here, the only reason I'm here on this stage, the only reason I was able to survive is because of God's grace. And also other people's contribution, those individuals and influences in my life gave me the greatest gift possible. They give me a piece of themselves. To a kid with such humble beginning from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, who didn't understand how important selflessness truly was. And until he had carried me through such an incredible journey. It is my name listed on the retirement ceremony pamphlet today. But this honor is not about me. It is not. No one completes a 26 years naval career by themselves. Just like no one goes through life alone. We all product of how other people have touched us, taught us, loved us, and pushed us in ways great and small. We are all what other people give us. I am Haitian-Ville in Odilon, Augustin. My grandmother and my grandfather who raised me in Haiti. My grandmother was a handicapped lady. She had lost her leg to diabetes complication before I was even born. And later on as a teenager, she lost both of her eyesight. My grandfather was a Haitian farmer. Both didn't know how to read nor write. But they raised me and my older brother in Haiti. They pushed us so hard, and we were always, by God's grace, always at the top 10 percentile in all classes to primary secondary school. We never repeated the least one grade. We always are doing well. I am Odilon. I am Zamo and Lamy. My mother, my father. I will talk about them in a minute. Just like I am Odilon and Odilon and Haitian-Ville and Zamo and Lamy, I am also Joanna Lamy, Beja Lamy, Koa Lamy, and Alain Lamy, who I consider to be the senior chief here today. They have officially given me everything for me to ultimately arrive here. And this is why I needed this to happen for all of you guys. So now you see what the fuss was all about. Right? The people that God has placed in our life, that has placed in my life, have taught me the importance of education and faith. Allowed me to be a father, a husband, a brother, a friend. Growing up in Haiti was very challenging, to say the least. But my parents were dreamers. They always wanted what's best for the children. My father started traveling to the Bahamas, from Haiti to the Bahamas as a young man with his older brothers. And was working in the Bahamas, doing menial jobs, just immigrant does in the Bahamas. And went to the Caribbean, back and forth, met my mother at a wedding. I fell in love and we married a couple months later. My older brother was born and my dad was traveling back and forth to the Bahamas. And when my mom was 6 months pregnant with me, my dad traveled to Bahamas. From there, he made his way to Miami, Florida on a migrant visa. Basically come to Florida to basically help pick up crops and oranges and things like that. So we stayed in Miami and Florida, and the President Jimmy Carter administration eventually granted him amnesty and become a U.S. permanent resident, and later become a U.S. citizen. And my mom came when I was about 6 years old. They afforded us the best education that we could have in a country like Haiti. I attended kindergarten at a school run by Madame Samuel Pierre. It was the best little kindergarten school in the small town where I grew up at. My primary school was École Saint-Joseph. My secondary school was the Collège Notre-Dame de Lourdes. Both primary and secondary school was run by the French Canadian from Montreal, Quebec. Myself and my older brother, we thought we had arrived. Growing up in Haiti, our parents was in the States, and they always sent us nice clothes, and we had those LA Gear tennis shoes. Those were remember those, and we thought we had it made, right? We were growing up in Haiti, and it wasn't until I was 18 years old when I arrived in this country, and I realized the struggle that my parents was going through, just to keep us alive and to keep the dream going that they have for us. My mother was working a job at a factory, at a smoke fish factory in the Florida area. He was making $4.50 an hour. $4.50 an hour. So after a day of work, so she probably bring home like $30, and then at the end of the week, maybe bring home $150 of taking tax out and everything. So she probably bring home about $100 after a full week of work. Those $100 that she brought home, those are that's how they paid the electricity. They had good grocery, buy grocery to put food on the table, pay the water bill, pay the telephone bill, and still managed to send money to Haiti. I don't know how they did it. The reason I mentioned my mom's salary, because my dad had a slightly better job than my mom, working outside in the construction world and working for a cable company, working in the sun all day. He had made just enough to cover the mortgage every month, which was $800 a month mortgage. And if he was renting one day and my dad didn't work for that day, so she would be short on the mortgage for that month. So I arrived in this country thinking I had it made in Haiti, and I arrived at, wow, how they doing it? How they even survive? How they even take care of bills and take care of children? And they just they leave and take everything as a blessing every day, and they just struggle. They struggle and struggle. So, needless to say, when it was time to join the Navy did not need me. I needed the Navy. And I needed the Navy badly. So the people God has placed in my life, in my everyday life, have challenged me and challenged me on what I can get out of my naval career. God has placed at least one person, one special person at every single duty station that I've been. It's just that one person that you be like, wow. It's just out of nowhere, that person is just like looking out for me. Sometimes people don't even know me, just looking out for me and help me get things done. And I was like, wow, what a blessing. And people that God has placed in my life, and some of them are in this room today. When I was on board the USS Essex, there was a gentleman by the name of Tony Elefante, Master Chief Elefante, PL-CM Elefante. A gentleman by the name of Charles Laponte, Senior Chief Smallwood. Master Chief Elefante, when I was came in as an airman, I really wanted to be a personnelman really badly, and then the rating was closed. They wanted that striker in. And as a young man who put the Essex, I remember the first day on the Essex, the gentleman that checked me in was like, "Welcome to here." That's how he greeted me. And basically, we were in the shipyard, and then the ship, there was no aircraft on board. Everything was as a group of airmen. All we were doing all day was chipping paint and sandblasting and then clean the decks and then stripping racks. And some days we get out for work, we can even notice what color our uniforms are because they all cover in dirt. And we were working so hard, and I see young sailors was like, hey, this is not, they curse the Navy, they do a lot of stuff. But I always had that inner strength in me knowing that, you know what? I have some parents that struggle back home. The Navy is probably the best thing that could ever happen to me right now. And I had the energy and the strength and to work hard, so hard every day. When I wanted to become a personnelman, and Master Chief Elefante, they did a little career development good for me and get me working in the personnel office as a personnelman. Time for me to take the test came, and they wouldn't let me take the test because the wait was closed for striker. The detailers come in San Diego to visit. Master Chief Elefante sent me to go visit them, and I did a little 1306 time for me, and then go see the detailers to see if I can get a school quota to become a personnelman. When I show up in at 32nd Street, the detailers was talking to sailors, and the PN detailer was towards the back, and one of the other detailers in the front say, "Hey, what are you here for?" I said, "I'm here trying to see if I can get a quota to be a personnelman." He said, "Oh, you might as well leave because the personnelman rating is closed. There's no way they're going to give you a quota." While I was getting ready to leave, the personnelman detailer would say, "You know what, don't send him away yet, just hang on. We have a fleet quota, so let's talk about that. So I just talked to the PN detailer, and he looked at my record, and he was like, "Wow, you're doing pretty well. You were sale of the quarter. Wow, you were FSA of the month. Wow. Oh wow, you have some you know, I had about a year of college under my belt, and he said, wow, you do sale of the quarter. Wow." He was like, you know what, just because the detailer was sending you away, I'm going to go ahead and approve you for a quota to attend A school. But the quota I'm giving you right now, it's what they call a command return quota. What does that mean? Meaning that the command have to be willing to pay for you out of their own command budget to have you go TAD to an A school, to complete the A school and come back to the same command. So they have to basically pay for it, not the big Navy. So what are the chances of that happening, right? So I grabbed my little 1306, I went back to Master Chief Elefanti. I said, Master Chief, well, the good news is they give me a quota, but the bad news is they say you guys have to pay for it. Master Chief Elefanti say, you know what? Captain Lamy, for you, no problem. He took me to my admin officer, Lieutenant Winans. I remember this until today, LDO lieutenant. And he said, Captain Lamy, for you, we'll make it happen. And he used to tell me, he said, Lamy, if everybody from Haiti was just like you, I would call Haiti by now and have 100 of young Haitians come work for me. So these are the people God placed in my life. Before I know it, I was TD to Maryland, Mississippi, completed the A school and come back to the same ship. And that's how I become a personnel specialist. And about 10 years ago, after that, I become a chief. So those people that God has placed in my life. And if we could in District San Diego, I had a gentleman named Ernie Belmaris. He was my Y-1 and ended up being the base CMC for Naval Station San Diego. He wanted to be here today, but he's currently in the process of moving. He's selling his house, but he couldn't be here. But if this ceremony was in San Diego, he would be on stage here with me as well. Ernie Belmaris was my ultimate mentor. He carried me to 3 different duty stations. Everywhere I go, that guy always have a great thing to say about me, and then he make people have a good impression on me. On the Nimitz, I had people like Jake Zamora looking out for me. In Bahrain, when I was there, and then my life crumbled, and I have gone through so much, and I went to, you know, I stepped away from some of my values and do certain things that was really not. I'm ashamed to say that was not the best thing for me and my family, but there was a gentleman by the name of Chaplain Andre Truffaut. Not only was Haitian, but a Navy chaplain. What has that happened? It's a Haitian Navy chaplain met me in Bahrain. If you know the story of the Bible of Prophet Nathan, when he came to talk to David, that guy was my prophet Nathan to my David. And he was saying, he basically helped me turn my life around. And Captain Truffaut, and I hope you get to hear me saying this to you one day, that you have really saved my life, saved my marriage, saved my career, pretty much. Thank you. When I show up on the Johnson's tennis, there come Rob Stockton. Rob never didn't even know me from anything, right? Rob heard people talking about me. And one thing Rob heard people were talking about me is that I always bragged at how many push-ups and sit-ups that I can do. Until today, Rob, 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, nothing less, man. One time when I was writing my eval, and then silly bullet stuff we put on eval, and I said, pillar of physical fitness, and then I started talking about it, and this guy was making was like, man, why putting so much fluff in your eval? A pillar of fitness, pillar. So I was there. Those guys were walking around the ship calling me, oh, the pillar of fitness, the pillar of fitness. But it was a good time, and Rob, and I appreciate you. I'm a senior chief today because of you, Rob. And believe it or not, people don't understand that evals is what gets you promoted in the Navy. And, as a senior chief, Rob was in charge of the chief ranking board as a senior chief, as a chief level, as chief eval at the senior chief level. And Rob, I know you fought really hard for me, and by the time I left the tennis, I was the #2 EP chief on an aircraft carrier, and that I have that extra star today. I have you to thank for, and of course, all the jokes we talk about. Till today, I have that Miami Heat pajamas that you gave me, and I always make fun of your Seahawks, and we talk a lot. But hey, we had a bad year this year. All right, this year doesn't count. All right, the Miami Heat will be back. But thanks, Walt. Thank you, and thank you for helping with this today. The flag you see up front and everything else, and Walt being the CMC of Naval Hospital helped me out. Thank you so much. Become the first in my family to earn a college degree, and I appreciate the importance of education because of people that God has placed into my life. As you can tell, there's a common thread here on one that sustained me then and has inspired me to this day. It's one of the favorite quotes that I always say. The truest way to live, the one that leaves the greatest footprint in the lives of many, is to do so for others. Like most of you here who have carried me to this long journey, you are far from the only people who have led me to this place. As a young sailor in San Diego, where I spent the first 13 years of my career, there were people like the Burrizo's family. Some of them are here today, Jay and Benji, that took me to the house as a single sailor, like I was family. They fed me, gave me a place to stay on weekends, and where I stay out of trouble. When all my other shipmen, there was 5 of us airmen, we put it on the same ship at the same time. Every single one of them went to Captain Mass and get kicked out of the Navy the first couple of years. I was the only one to survive, and because you guys provide me a safe place to go every weekend, and I appreciate that, and the rest of the Burrizo family. Thank you for being here, driving all the way from Oregon. I appreciate you guys being here. Being here, when I show up here in Bremerton and Silverdale, people like the Wasbar family, what was providing not only this studio for my family, but babysat my kids and help us so much. The people like this are always was in our lives. And others who have always welcomed us with open arms and supporting Joanna and the kids when I was on the England family and the Spence and all those that I didn't remember to mention today. My upbringing prepared me for the Navy as a born sailor with a heavy accent and a non-traditional American education. To survive, I had to work harder than everyone else. I had to try to be the fastest, the strongest. Yes, I can still do my 100 push-ups and my 100 sit-ups today and still do the run in 11 minutes. I performed every day like it was my last. I had to be that way because not only of the deep passion I have inside of me, but because I remember where I came from and the privilege I had to even don this uniform. It was a privilege. I also felt the tremendous obligation to my shipmates to never let them down, to my fellow chiefs who I had the privilege to serve in the chief's mess with. And one of the blessings of my career, 26 years, I was in the chief's mess for 13 of those 26 years. No wonder I never been master chief, right? Because I get spoiled, because I get too comfortable, right? I want to thank you for being here today and for supporting me. I wanted to fulfill my part of the team by any means necessary. I want to thank my parents for the work ethic they have installed in me and gave me the great sense of resiliency and perseverance and what I've reflected toward my entire naval career. But what made this long journey really works was the love I had at home for the past 24 years. Babe, you are the best thing that could ever happen to me. I met this young lady in Perth, Australia, in my first deployment in the Navy. 18-year-old kid, I met her. There was a buddy of mine, Ian, who was from Jamaica. It was my ABH3 that I worked for when I was an airman. He had already been to Australia. I had a fiance in Australia. And he really liked the way I behaved myself, because I could even be my liberty body. And then, so his fiancée come to pick him up from the ship, and I guess who was there as a friend of the fiancée was this young lady, an 18-year-old girl. I was like, wow, who's that girl? So I was relentless. I pursued her really, really hard, and you know, she gave me a chance, and I fell in love. And when she arrived in the States, you know, and my friends and family, and you know, they was like, wow, that Australian bombshell is with him. And the people was like, all right, there's two scenarios. Right? She gonna dump him because as soon as she came to the state, then she's gonna have her U.S. citizenship, and she's gonna be gone. There's no way she's gonna stay with him. You know, it's like, and there's a result. I was just a young seaman with no money, no nothing, and she was with me. Well, I got good news about that. We've been married 22 years of marriage later. Guess what, guys? She's still here. And guess what? This one thing people that never really knew about my wife. She is still today an Australian citizen. I've never applied for U.S. citizenship. Guess what? She didn't care about coming to America. In fact, just last month, we just had a long conversation how she wanted to take all of us back to Australia and give us Australian citizenship and all that stuff. So that should show you the type of person she is. All she wanted in life is for her to have a family. And that's it. She doesn't, and take care of people. And when I first met her, she wanted to be a nurse so she can help people. And then she is an ICU nurse. We take care of people with trauma and all kind of deadly diseases every day. And that's the type of person she is. She gives everybody herself. And all I had to do was, and you heard, is that I was focusing on my career. And my downfall was I never had to have work-life balance. It was work. And I had my first show tour when I was at Region. Every other first world show duty. The only tour I had was recruiting duty. 2 back-to-back recruiting duty. Every time I'm on show duty, I'm in recruiting duty. Working long hours and trying to chase that career, trying to fulfill that that dream to get to where I'm at today. And then she had to stay home and pick up all the pieces. In the bulletin here, there's the Navy Wives poem dedicated to you. I'm not going to read that because I was talking so much on it. But this babe, I want to say that you are the best thing that could have ever happened to me. You have been the life. You have been my life the past 24 years, and gave me the confidence that I could do anything. Thank you for your patience and all your sacrifices. So much of a husband has been taken away from you. And so much of a father figure responsibility has been taken away from the kids. But you handled it like a champion. I said recently on a post on Instagram on Mother's Day that to the world, you are a mother. But to our family, you are our world. I just want to let you know that. To my daughters, you guys have been dream children. Beja, even as a baby, you were always so quiet and always so focused. It's funny, when she was a baby, every once in a while, and me and my she's so quiet, she never cried. And I would go to her equipment and go, boo, to see if she will be because there's something about the moment she's dead. But, she's been an inspiration, a blessing. It's been such an inspirational blessing to watch you growing up and becoming such a beautiful and graceful ballerina. And it was such a treat to always watch you on stage and perform. And then now to have you watch you growing into a beautiful young adult that you are today. You never had a traditional childhood, and not too many children can say they started a career at 3 years old, and we've been focused to adolescent, preteen, and to making your way to college at NYU and graduate college, and we've been focused. You get accepted at every Bible school that you've been with your dedication and your resiliency and your perseverance. Not every kid can say they can, in high school, they pack their bag every afternoon to get in the ferry to go to Seattle to dance, and then come back in the evening when raining, shine, dark, and you stay there. You never had a normal childhood. You never had to play with your friends these days where kids want to be popular and everything, but you stick with it, you basically make us so proud, and you could have been more proud of. Could have been more proud to be your parents. Thank you. All right. Core. When you were born, you had the hardest of all of our children. Beja was the honeymoon baby, and everything was sunshine and rainbow, and she was born. But by the time you were born, we started working. Both myself and my wife started working, and it was a stressful situation for us. So you basically was a stressful baby when you were born. We had so much stress in our life trying to work and trying to finish college at the same time. But I've never seen a child who works so hard at everything she does. I am always so proud to say that you were already reading chapter books in preschool. I always say that. Chapter school and preschool. She decided to read chapter in preschool. You have accomplished so much. You have been from being a straight A student in high school to swim team captain to drum majors and all the other things you've done after school activity. You work so hard at everything you do, and it was so well deserved to see you score a 31 in the ACT and basically got accepted at every single college and university you applied for, and hopefully chosen to attend Berkeley. But I'm here today to tell you, as you continue your college career at Berkeley, that I'm here to tell you right now, as your father, to relax. Take some of the pressure off your shoulder, okay? All right? We will still be proud, and like I said, even if you will never step foot in a classroom area after today, we will still be so proud of you. For us, you are already adopted. You are already a scientist, okay? We are proud of you, KJ, and you have nothing else to prove to us. You have already done it all, okay? Thank you. I love you, KJ. Anaya, you are the life of the family. You bright up a womb with your beautiful smile and your vibrant personality. It's very often to see you sitting by yourself and just smile. You know, to have a smile. It's amazing to see that in a teenager these days. It's like you always have a song in your heart, you know, and forget that you're so talented and you've been a cheerleader captain ever since you were in middle school, and basically, you know, right now to quarantine, you're working so hard, you know, with all your schoolwork and doing so much, but at the same time, you work so hard and also manage to be always in a good, positive mood. I love that about you. And thank you for being daddy's little girl, what they call my little fishing buddies. And thank you for always allowing me to listen to my favorite music when you're driving with me in the car. And actually my French music. I appreciate it. I love you guys. So to be deeply loved by someone give you strength. And I want to thank my wife and kids for giving me the strength to get through all the obstacles towards this journey. I love you. Was not there just for the good times, but always stood by me when I was down. Make me grateful to call you my wife and kids that I could come home to every day. I want to thank you. There was so many purpose to my naval career. I wanted to finish my career the right way, with dignity and honor and integrity. And for you guys, and yes, babe. And this is what all the fuss was about. I wanted you guys to experience this because you have worked so hard for the last 24 years. For all the stress that I put you guys through everything. And this is really worth it. I also serve for all the little kids from Haiti. That might be, maybe that one day that might be hearing this. I serve for hope. I serve for inspiration. If Jean and Lamy, with the childhood adversity that I had and the non-traditional upbringing and everything that I had to overcome, could be here today, so can anybody. I want to continue to give back. I want to pay it forward. This is what I want to show. This is what our naval career can do for all of us. This is how we could prove that you can accomplish anything in life with hard work, dedication, faith, perseverance, and the right positive attitude. And with, of course, with the support of your family and of those who God placed in your path. I never shied away from challenges. Someone shared a quote with me one time and say, when obstacles arrive, you change your direction, but you do not change your decision to get there. I stand here as a man who had many directions throughout my naval career, which all have led me to this place, the right place. I am humble, thankful, and still uncertain how it all come together, but I believe everybody has a story, and we create those stories in our lives to the special people that God has placed with us, to the special relationships that we establish. And also, I stand here today on this podium, in this beautiful auditorium, in front of this beautiful audience, in front of you, and then this beautiful inside this beautiful landmark. I want to remove myself from all glory, because this is not my day. This is my wife and kids' day. This is my parents' day. This is my shipmates' day. This is all those families and friends who have been there for me, who have contributed to this particular moment. This is everyone whose selflessness I will try every day to repay. I want to thank you for the ceremony, recognizing all of them and all of you. Thank you for this amazing closure of my naval career. Thank you for this amazing celebration. I must say, as Apostle Paul said, together we have fought the great fight. We have finished the race, and we have kept the faith. And may God continue to bless all of us. I thank you so much.
Flag detail, post.
Flag detail, and good. One step to the left, march. Flag detail, forward, march.
As the flag detail takes position, you will notice these sailors each represent the ranks that NCCS Lamy has achieved throughout his career.
Flag detail, about face.
Senior Chief Jessica Famachan will now read Old Glory.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, My head is a little higher. My colors a little true. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, and scores of places long forgotten by all except by those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me, and I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters. Heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing that all America, although bloody, would never be beaten. For those who would destroy me cannot win, for I am the symbol of freedom, of one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I've been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country, and when it is by those who I'm served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped from the surly bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I've been silent, a silent witness for all of America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-mast to honor my soldiers, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of a fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God. Long may I wave.
Joanna, on behalf of your husband, the many soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, including those who have made the supreme sacrifice, we wish to present to you what is regarded as a military member's most honored and cherished possession, the flag of the United States of America. Representative of our great nation, which your husband has so proudly served and honorably defended, it is the true emblem of our unity, our power, and our purpose as a nation. Please accept it, guard it, and let it remind you of the many young men and women your husband has guided and inspired, who will follow in his footsteps and defend it with equal pride. The flag presented to Joanna Lamy was flown aboard the USS Carl Vinson and USS Essex. Flag detail, post.
Flag detail, about face, forward, march.
RPC retired Marco Mirador will now read the CPO retirement creed. All Chief Petty Officers, past and present, in uniform, cover. Attention to the retirement creed.
Chief Petty Officer Retirement Creed. You have, on this day, experienced the which comes to all of us who serve on active duty in our Navy. I say our Navy because your departure from active duty in no way terminates your relationship. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the rolls, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you earned as the Chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into retirement. You should have no regrets. Do not view your retirement as an end of the era, but rather as order to a new challenging assignment to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been and always be an accepted member of the most exclusive of all fraternities, that of United States Navy Chief Petty Officers. The active duty chiefs salute you. Active duty hands salute. Ready, two. The retired chiefs welcome you. I wish you the traditional fair winds and following seas.
Chief Petty Officers, please be seated. In the late 1700s, the U.S. Navy set sail with new ideas, new goals, and a desire to build traditions that would last through the test of time. The U.S. Navy led the way with providing honors for crewmen. In the 1800s, saw enlisted men holding retirements for enlisted men for the first time. The captain would allow the jolly boat to take the enlisted retiree ashore. Then, after the Civil War, commanding officers began to hold enlisted retirement ceremonies to show the crew that he and the Navy recognized the contributions of its enlisted crewmen. Today, our Navy has given most of the pomp and circumstance, the honors, the traditions, and ceremonies back to history. Time does not give us the freedom to do these things from the past. But we still have time to stop all engines, lay about smartly, and drop anchor to pay homage to one of our shipmates going ashore.